how to build the perfect Mac Mini setup. Let's talk about it. So, if you are currently looking to buy an M4 Mac Mini and you are wondering what is the best setup for this device, well, I'm going to show you mine. So if you are excited, drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let's talk about it. But before we do, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, Ivanki Power USB-C Hub. This allows you to have several 4K monitors, up to 3, connected to your MacBook. Yes, if you don't have any of the M1 Max, M2 Max, M3 Max computers, this allows you to have more displays connected via one USB-C port. And it also works as a USB-C hub. So it gives you 2 USB-A ports, 2 USB-C ports, 1 Ethernet port that I don't think it's 10 gigabit, but it's a gigabit port. You also have, of course, 2 SD card slots, one for micro SD card and one for full-sized and one info jack. The link will be in the description down below. Go check it out. So, this is my setup. As you can see, I use the Mac Mini with an ultra-wide monitor on my desk. And this is probably the main event of this setup. I love ultra-wide monitors. I've been using them for the last 3 years, I gotta say. And I think they are the perfect balance between having a large piece of a canvas and not having too much clutter. So the objective with this setup was to be the minimalistic as possible. So this is on my bedroom, so I don't have lots of space. And I don't want to make this too ugly, too complicated. So I decided to buy an ultra-wide monitor. This is a 2:1 aspect ratio, so whenever you are watching movies, perfect. Movies that are not 16:9. Because if you have 16:9 content here, well, it does not look that great. You have huge black bars that are not the best whenever you are watching YouTube videos. But if you love watching movies in 2:1, which I do love, if you love working with several apps open, several windows, for example, I will open the stock market right here, which is kind of booming right now, and I can place it right there. So I can place it right there. And then I want to have another one. For example, let's say I want to have notes. And I'll have notes open up right there. I can have full-size windows open up, one right there and one right there, and both of them are full size. They are not like smaller, no, they're like full-size monitors. This is the 32-inch, if I'm not wrong, or 38. It's a big monitor. I mean, the best thing you can do is have Final Cut Pro open, because whenever you open Final Cut Pro here, which is my main task on the computer, let me just open it for a second. Oh, Apple has launched an update for Final Cut Pro. Now you have Final Cut Pro 11, which is quite great. You have automatic masking, you have automatic, I think, subtitles and transcription, I think. So that's great. You will see that it will open up in the whole screen, which is quite cool. And if you open Safari, it will also open up in full screen. For example, right here, it will open up in full screen, which for some websites that are not optimized, it's not that great. But even if you open apple.com, for example, it's optimized or mostly optimized for this type of aspect ratio, and it looks awesome. Awesome, it's huge. And of course, like I do most of the time, I can have Safari right here. I can open it up like right there, which makes the whole experience much better. You can be editing Final Cut Pro right here. You have all the news right there, and makes the whole experience of editing with the Mac Mini so much easier, because you have a huge canvas, a huge display to work on, and most of the time you have no issues. So if I open up my library, you'll be able to see that it's huge. You'll be able to edit in this huge canvas, huge timeline that's really easy to work on and really detailed. So having the biggest amount of screen real estate possible for me for editing videos is great. I only need one screen. Again, I can be working on Final Cut Pro right here, moving around the window, choosing the place that I want to use it. And then whenever I go into the, I don't know, Mac Rumors website and take a screenshot of something, or going to Apple's website, take some type of reference, it's really easy. I only need one monitor and I can go from one place to another. This applies to Final Cut Pro. This applies to DaVinci Resolve. This applies to coding if you want to use, I don't know, let me see if I have anything else useful. This applies to Pages. I can be working on a new document on Pages. I can be working on a blank document right there and going on the internet or even ChatGPT and getting references and writing anything that's useful right there. I don't know. I can be doing both at the same time. And even I can have this page right here and I can have the Safari page right there. And the beauty of an ultra-wide monitor is that you have a huge canvas to work on. And if you want to have, I don't know, let me see, let me grab some numbers. I want to have another Excel sheet. and then I create a spreadsheet, I start blank, and I put it right there. I get this a little bit smaller, I choose this one a little bit smaller also, put it right there, and boom, there you go. You have 3 windows at the same time, and that's the beauty of an ultra-wide monitor, and that's why I chose one to pair up with my M4 Mac Mini. And not to talk about all the amazing ports that you get for this value. Again, $600 for this piece, and you get 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports on the back, you get 1 HDMI, 1 Ethernet port, 1 power port, and on the front, you get 2 USB-Cs and 1 info jack. Crazy value, this tiny thing right here. As for my peripherals, I'll choose the Magic Keyboard right here. This is my Magic Keyboard. This is the full-size Magic Keyboard with a Touch ID. This is still the Lightning version though. I bought this used, so I bought this 1 week, 2 weeks ago, but I bought it used for 90 bucks. I saved more than half of the price, so this costs currently I think $200, so I've saved $110 by buying it by 90 bucks. It's the Lightning version, but I need to charge it like once per month. So yeah, I haven't charged it since I bought it, no need to. And uses Lightning, who cares, I still have lots of Lightning cables around. And yeah, I think it's great. I think it's super comfortable to type on, it's super easy, it's super small and flat, looks great on my desk, and it's super minimalistic. One thing that was really necessary for me. So yes, this Magic Keyboard was the perfect choice in my opinion. I've been writing on Magic Keyboards for ages now, I can't remember when I started, and I still love them. They are not as comfortable as, I don't know, as a mechanical keyboard. And I have one right here, I think in my drawer. Let me see if I can find it. I have one right here. This is my mechanical keyboard. Do I use it? No, I don't like it, I don't enjoy it. Makes too much noise. I mean, listen to this. Too much noise. It's too much travel in my opinion, so when I'm editing, I need to make lots of efforts to move my fingers around. And after a while, I get tired. I get very, very sore on my thumbs, and it's not the best experience. So typing on the Magic Keyboard, it's the best option in my opinion. Obviously, this is a very, very expensive keyboard, so try to find one refurbished, try to find one used if you are going to buy one. And I wouldn't recommend you going for the full-size Magic Keyboard. You don't need the number pad. I mean, who needs the number pad, right? Like, number pad it's probably one of the most useless things on a keyboard nowadays, but I like it, and I think it looks better being bigger. That's why I bought it. It was used, cheaper than the smaller, buying new, so I went and bought it. Touch ID is also a very cool feature here. It enables you to unlock your Mac, to open up any type of password-driven website. It enables you to use Apple Pay. So I truly believe that having this Magic Keyboard was a game changer for me, and buying one to pair up with my Mac Mini, the perfect choice. That's why Apple sends you one with the iMac. You have to pay extra for it, but I think it's a good extra to pay for. It's really, really useful and really well designed. Looks great on my desk, and it's my favorite type of keyboard to type on. As for my mouse, before I used to use the Magic Mouse. Yes, the Magic Mouse. But then I started to edit for long periods of time, and I started to get some issues on my hands. Although my hands are pretty strong, I go to the gym, I play tennis, I play golf, I have very strong and, let's say, destroyed hands. I actually felt a bit tired using this mouse. It's not the most ergonomic mouse to use, especially for long periods of time and long editing hours. So, yes, I listened to everyone's advice and I bought the Logitech MX Master 3. This mouse is great. It's completely destroyed now. It's like 2 years old since I bought it. But it's the best investment that I've ever made for my hands. It's super ergonomic, super comfortable to use. I can now edit for hours and hours and my hands don't feel a thing. So yes, very grateful that I got one for less than $100 on Amazon. This is not the newest one, it's the Master 3. Currently I have the Master 3S. This is the Master 3, but I think it's great. I think it's a really useful device. It's super ergonomic, you have several features. You have the side scroll wheel, which is really useful if you want to scroll to side on the timeline of Final Cut Pro. You have this mechanical wheel which just spins and spins like to infinity. It has no type of friction. So crazy. You have this button that changes the type of scroll wheel that you have, makes noise, does not make any type of noise. You have these customizable buttons, shortcut buttons right there. You also have a button right here to do any type of customizable tabs. For example, on my Mac currently, if I click it here, I think it opens up this selector, so then I can choose which app do I want to use, like Final Cut Pro, Finder, whatever. Then I have these shortcut buttons. I think I've customized them to copy and paste, which is quite great. So I just copy and paste, quite cool. And then it's super comfortable, super easy to type on, super responsive, and I think it looks great on my setup, although it's quite big compared to the Magic Mouse. I mean, look at the difference between these two mouses. This is much taller, much larger, so much wider. And yeah, not as beautiful, but much more comfortable. That's why I use it. That's why I bought it. And I totally recommend you guys getting one of these if you spend lots of time using your mouse at your computer. And to protect everything, I have this Amazon mouse pad, which is quite big. I think it's 90 centimeters per 40 centimeters. It's made of this nylon material. Looks great. It's different. It's cool to use. Protects all of your devices that you put on top of it. I have my Apple Watch, put it right there every time. My watches, like this, my mechanical watch, I like to put it right there every time that I leave it on. My phone, it also protects it. It also uses as a mouse pad, obviously, for your mouse. Protects the bottom of your mouse, protects the bottom of your keyboard. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool addition that I bought it. I think it for 30 bucks, quite cheap, and it works pretty well. Looks great on this desk, which is also made of wood. This is just a normal desk, has some drawers and something. Oh, one thing that I also bought for this setup that was quite cheap, but also quite important, was this monitor raise. You might be thinking, why did I buy a monitor raise, and what sense does it make? Well, it's actually pretty simple. I use this monitor raise to raise my monitor. Who knew? But it's important because my monitor, although it has a stand, so I can, let me see if I can push it up. I can push it up, as you saw. I can push it down. One cool thing about this monitor that it comes with this stand. It also has a tilt function, up, down. One thing that it annoyed me a lot was it occupied most of my desk. So I had no space to put my Mac Mini. I had no space to put my Ivanki power hub. That's why I bought it. And I was thinking, how can I fix this? So I thought, and I bought a monitor stand. I have space down there, as you can see. I have space to put my Mac Mini. I have space to put my hard drives. I have space to put my power hub right there. And it has tons of USB-Cs. I will talk a bit later about it. I think it's quite cool. It's made of wood. And it looks almost the same color of wood as my desks. That's why I bought this one. Looks great. I think it blends well in my minimalistic setup. And it has space for me to put the Mac Mini, which you can see is really tiny right there. Really small, you can almost not see it on the camera. And yeah, it allows me to push the monitor stand down and to have it face it towards me. So whenever I'm using it, I'm in this very comfortable position right there. And it allows me to be working, which I am right now, and allows me to do, I don't know, open Final Cut Pro, open Safari, me working directly looking at the screen, which is something that's really important because it could fix your neck issues. So making your setup the most ergonomic as possible will save you lots of pain after a few years. So monitor stand, one thing that is indispensable for me right now in my setup. Oh, and looking at this, one cool feature that this monitor brings, by the way, is the Huawei Mate GT ultra-wide, is these speakers. If you don't know, the Mac Mini does not bring any type of speakers. Or it does, but they are trash. Don't use them. You need to buy speakers or external speakers. And I have found a good pair of monitors for about 90 bucks, which is quite cheap. But then I saw this monitor, and when I bought it, there was this 5-watt speaker attached to it. This is the monitor stand, but it brings a 5-watt speaker. And then I was like, is it good enough? Is this speaker good enough for me to use to watch movies? Because let's be honest, whenever I edit videos, I plug in my headphones. I don't want to have any type of lag. And let's be honest, most speakers don't have the quality for you to actually edit your sound. So I use plug-in headphones, much better, no lag. Again, not Bluetooth, plug-in headphones, no lag. The best ways to actually edit your audio. And these speakers are just for watching movies, watching YouTube videos. So they need to be good. They don't need to be exceptional. They need to be very cheap, and they actually need to save me money, but work really well. And these 5-watt speakers, boy, they are loud. They are very minimal because they blend in with the monitor stand right there. This is the speakers that I'm talking about. And it's quite cool because if you push it up, it will increase the volume, push it down, decrease. This is a touch surface that will change the volume. It's quite responsive actually. So all of this monitor, all of this technology, almost all of it, it's built in. You have 2 USB-C ports on the back. You can charge your laptop if you want to put in a plug-in on a laptop. I have a laptop stand right here. If you want to plug in your M1 Max MacBook Pro that I have, I just plug it in right there. Currently not using it. Again, I'm running my entire YouTube channel on M4 Mac Mini. And yeah, I also have these Govee lights back there to make some background lighting, currently turned off, not to ruin the aspect ratio and not to ruin the video. And yeah, oh my God, look how tiny this device is. My hand, the Mac Mini, my hand, the Mac Mini. Jeez, This is so small. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I also have the power up that I was talking about, the USB-C hub. This is an Ivanki USB-C hub. This is my head. This is the M4 Mac Mini. Guys, look at it. And they sent me a while back one, and I was like, I will try it. And I did. In the beginning, I thought it was not that useful because I was using my laptop and I was like, eh. But now that I've built this setup for the Mac Mini, it's actually useful because the Mac Mini, although it has 3 Thunderbolt ports, I think it's 3 on the back and 2 on the front, this one allows me to have even more and more expansion. You have 2 USB-C, 3, but USB-C A ports. You have 3 USB-C ports, 1 on the back, 2 on the front. An headphone jack. You have 2 SD card slots, 1 for micro SD, 1 for full-size SD. On the back, you have an Ethernet port and more HDMI ports. So this is useful to expand your Mac Mini storage and to actually give you a bit more I/O. Currently for me, the only useful thing that I use it is for the SD cards, and yeah, that's it. I like to plug in my hard drives there and just plug in one very, very fast, I think Thunderbolt 4 port to my Mac Mini on the back. Problem solved. So this is my full minimalistic setup. I think it looks great. I think I'm currently not looking for anything else. If I would change anything, it would be probably this USB-C hub, and probably one day I would buy a more color accurate monitor. Until then, most of it is great. Fits really, really well in my setup, and I don't want to spend any more money on it. And so, let me know in the comments below which part of this setup are you going to adopt. For me, I love an ultra-wide display. I love a very minimalistic and simple setup, and that's why I love the M4 Mac Mini. It's so small, so tiny, fits perfectly behind my desk and below my monitor. So, yes, so small that it fits in this very, very tiny space that allows me to have a very minimalistic and cool looking setup. I also love the Magic Keyboard and yeah, the Logitech MX Smart 3. Those are my favorite accessories ever, my favorite keyboard, my favorite mouse. And I can't find anything more comfortable than the Magic Keyboard to type on and the Logitech MX Master to use as a mouse. I video edit for lots of hours, and those devices, until now, have proven to be the most comfortable and the best ones, in my opinion. So, take from this setup whatever you want. This is my perfect Mac Mini setup. And yeah, if you want to check out Ivanki's Power Bank or Ivanki's Power Hub, it will be on the link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.